So here's a question for you. Are real estate agents influencers? When we hear the word influencers, what do we think of? Well, popular people with a large following, and they have influence over other people, a group of people. Okay, so for example, Kim Kardashian, you know who she is. Oh my God, I got this new makeup out and it's so cool. And post. With one picture and the click of one button, she can have millions of people buy her products. So what does it mean? What does it mean to be an influencer? Well, Tim Farris said it the best. Your net worth is your network. The bigger your network, the more influence you have. I mean, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? The more people you know means the more popular you are. The more popular you are, the more influence you have. You know, we tend to look up to the people that are influencers. They're the popular ones. They're the trendsetters. They're the leaders. They're not really followers. So how do you create a network anyway? I've got one word for you: attention. The more attention you have, the more eyeballs you have looking at you, the more popular you will be. It's that simple. Think back to high school, for example. Who were the kids with the most influence? Well, they were the popular kids. They're the ones with the most friends. They're the ones that went to all the parties. And of course, back in high school, your net worth is measured by how popular you are, or how many friends you have, or how many parties you went to. And it was like a cycle. The more friends you had, the more popular you got, the more popular you got, the more influence you had, the more influence you had. I think you know where I'm going with this. And the reality is, nothing has changed. We're adults now, but we're still playing the same game of popularity and influence. So the question I ask is, how does a real estate agent become an influencer? How does a real estate agent grow their network? So let me share a quick story with you. Back in 2002, when I got my real estate license, I did what all the other agents were doing. I picked a street, I picked up the phone, and I started dialing for dollars. Then of course, by 2009, 2010, I completely burnt out. But my business essentially tanked, and I had a decision to make. Do I call it quits? Or do I reinvent myself and do something different? Quitting was not an option. So I said, okay, what's plan B? Let's rebuild. And that's when everything changed. And I started asking myself, how do I rebuild my business without cold calling, without having to do any old school prospecting? How do I attract people? So of course I started researching and consuming as much content as I could. I wanted to see what the successful people were doing. And they had one thing in common. They were all influencers. That was my light bulb moment. And then it got me thinking, what if I can create local influence? So this was going to be new territory for me. I had nobody to really look up to. I had to figure this out on my own. My goal, my vision, was to be able to connect with as many people in my city with the press of a button. I wanted to be able to talk to everybody at a mass scale, because I knew that the more people I can reach, the bigger influence I had. While old school coaches were still teaching, well, they still do teach prospecting by cold calling or door knocking. And hey, if that's what you're doing, I'm not knocking you for it. Have fun, have a blast. I just knew that I wanted something different for myself. I didn't want to chase people. I wanted to attract people. I wanted to create influence in my local community like all the successful entrepreneurs were doing. I had a vision of being the digital mayor. I turned to my wife and I said, I could be like the online mayor. And legit, that's what I called it back there. I mean, substitute the word online with digital, it means the same thing. Of course, Gary Vee made the term digital more popular, but I had this idea back in 2009-ish, 10, but nobody, and I mean nobody back then, was doing any of this. I had to figure it out on my own. And of course, before I fired my coach, I told her I had this idea of connecting with people, and she said, stop wasting your time. Why are you talking to people that are not hot leads right now? If they're not ready to buy or sell a home right now, don't waste your time. And there was something in me that just screamed, are you kidding me? Why are you telling me not to create relationships? Why are you telling me to stop trying to create influence in my community? Are you really that, I want to be polite? I don't even know what the word is that I'm looking for. Blind. Yeah, are you that blind? Do you seriously not understand how business works? I figured this out without your help, without a coach. I just did the research, and it was blaringly obvious to me that the people with the most wealth had the biggest network. It was that simple. These people had the biggest reach, whether it was in their community or online or in business or any aspect of life. And she couldn't see that. And here's the truth, a dose of reality for those who cold call. Cold callers are nothing more than that kid in high school who said, oh, please invite me to this party. Come on, can I just come with you? They were just annoying. They were like a pit bull that wouldn't let go. We all know a kid or two like that, right? Okay, so how do you build influence? I'm gonna give you an example from Gary Vaynerchuk. Love him or hate him, that's not the point. The point is, how did he build influence? Well, first thing we all know, content, but not just any content that can actually help somebody. That's what I believe is called value, because different people will define value differently. What may be valuable to me is not valuable to you. Does that make sense? So he created as much value as he could to help as many people as he could. He also connected with other like-minded people, other entrepreneurs. He interviewed them and he posted that content online. So he was building relationships with other entrepreneurs. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying all you need to do is pump out content and magic will happen. No, you need to form relationships with people. And yes, creating value builds relationships. He also not just cares about his clients, but everybody else around him. Even if they're not clients, he pumps out free content on a daily basis. But that grows his network and his net worth. So Gary Vee, after a while, started growing his influence. He became more popular. It didn't start off that way day one. People had no idea who he was. He was just creating content, putting it out there, and slowly started creating relationships. And look at him today. But it started with content. And now people are knocking on his door with opportunity. That's just the way it works. Love him or hate him, Gary Vaynerchuk is a massive influencer. And watch him, 2, 3, 4 years from now, he's going to be even bigger. Mark my words. The simple fact and truth is, when you are an influencer, you create your own opportunity. People want you. You're not that annoying cold caller that's trying to chase business. Take a look at the influencers and what they're doing. They are spreading content. Content is what attracts other people to the influencer. You have a choice. You could do old school prospecting, one-on-one begging, or you can create content and reach the masses by attracting. There's a little website out there, not sure if you've heard of it. If I remember correctly, I think it's called YouTube. We don't need to go to auditions to be on some famous TV show. We can create that ourselves. The opportunities are endless. We are in the golden era of being who we want to be to influence whoever we want to influence, to get our message out there into the world for free. You can see influencers are constantly popping up everywhere. They are doing this themselves. I literally one day decided no more cold calling. I refuse to pick up the phone. I am going to become an influence in my local community and stop this old school nonsense. And I did it. I climbed my way out of nearly bankruptcy and huge debt by doing this. My focus now, today, moving forward, is to recreate that as a real estate coach, to be a business coach to you. And yes, I pretty much just started this January of this year, but I'm already getting traction. I'm pumping out as much content as I can, as much valuable and useful content as I possibly can. I'm growing my influence. I'm just a little guy right now. I completely know that. I understand that. I'm building this business from the ground up. I'm documenting my business so I can watch this video and all my other videos in 10 years to say, wow, look where I've come from. And as time goes on, yes, I'm growing my database of relationships. And hopefully as an agent, you're watching what I'm doing and doing the same thing. Do this in your business. Be the influencer in your community. Be the digital mayor in your town. Create and form relationships. Create content, useful content. Go out there and interview local business owners. Give actual value and grow your network. And of course, that will grow your net worth. It's not difficult or hard work, but it is work. You have to draw the line in the sand and say, that's it. I'm starting right here, right now. So can real estate agents be influencers? Yeah, absolutely. And I do believe that is the future of being a real estate agent. This industry is changing, and it's changing faster and faster every single day. Yeah, Tim Farris is right. Your network is your net worth. Real estate agents have to be influencers. You have to form relationships. You have to give value, because that's where your net worth is. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, do me a favor, click like. If you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe and the bell button, and we'll chat tomorrow. Have an awesome day.